With Town Hall hearing room located at 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. Moreover, pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, considering certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting is being run in hybrid mode, by which I mean live participation, Zoom participation, conceivably some phone participation as well. 11 new applications for certificates of appropriateness and 2 tabled certificates of appropriateness will be heard this evening in the order listed on the agenda. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it is the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway Historic District. Our office administrator, Lisa Sherman, will be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this process. So, as some of you may be aware, respecting process, our process here is, as I call each application in order, the applicant and/or the applicant's representative or representatives, if present, will come before us to this table, speak into the microphone, identify yourself or yourselves, and state your case. After which I will ask the committee for comments and/or questions, after which the public will be free to ask questions, especially abutters. And if present, if you would kindly stand to the podium to my front left, speak into the microphone. Likewise, identify yourself, where you live, and state your case. So before we start tonight, I would like to make 2 announcements. First of all, I wish to congratulate fellow committee member Liz Argo for her election on Saturday to the Select Board.
Hold your applause, just throw money.
Congratulations. And I would also like to thank outgoing committee person Paula Morrison for her service to this committee. She will be leaving the committee after this meeting. So, with that said, we'll start with the first item on the agenda, which is 24-A146. It's to install 19 solar panels on the front of the barn at 236 Center Street. Larry and Kathy Jameson are the owners. Catuit Solar LLC is the agent. And who do we have this evening?
My name's Leah with Catuit Solar.
Fine. Tell us what you have.
Yeah, we're proposing a solar array on the existing barn comprised of 19 panels. They'll be black on black, so very more aesthetically pleasing than traditional panels. The proposed array will cover close to 90% of their electric usage. So they have a great roof for solar on the barn. And it's set back on the property. There's a lot of trees and shrubbery from the road. It's kind of hard to kind of see down that path. Yeah, do you have any questions?
We may have some comments or questions.
Okay.
Do we?
I couldn't even find the house, so the barn is
I drove by it twice.
way out of sight.
Yeah.
So I found the house and drove down the driveway of 236 and then seemed to fork to the right. And there would look like a couple of houses back there. And I know initially the application said 228. So and apparently at the fork, there was a road sign for 228. So I'm a little confused about which address it actually is. Is it part of 236 or 228?
I think it came with I think you brought it to my attention, Lisa, with the property card, but it's a barn on the existing properties. I
Didn't
think
look
the
like a barn.
houses are some.
It looked like another house. It didn't really look like a barn. So that's why I think it's a little confusing trying to find a barn. There's nothing that really looked like a barn. So, but I mean, it's certainly set back from the road.
So now I'm confused. My understanding is you drive into the driveway, it bifurcates, you stay to the left, correct? Or no?
I didn't go down that road. Let me see here.
It's the drive.
Confusing as to which
It's a common driveway that serves 2 houses, I believe, 228 and 236.
Right.
So
I
I
would think
thought,
it's when you go down that fork, it's going to be to the right.
It's to the right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
There's a couple buildings over there to the right, so it's the one farthest to the right. That looked like a house to me, not a barn, but
Yep.
whatever. There's a lot of buildings on that lot.
Mhm.
Okay, well, now we've got that straight, I think.
A little confusing. Yeah.
Um,
Now here's a good site plan with it.
But still,
Over here somewhere.
Well, no, it's right. You go in the drive and it's splits and there's, well, it goes sort of straight ahead,
Yeah.
not to the right.
yeah, but see this driveway here?
Any rate,
Is this an attached barn? Is it attached to the house or is it a separate barn?
separate structure. It
Okay.
was built in 2000.
Okay,
It's this building here in the
Yep.
diagram. So
Quality print
Tell
looks
me
better than mine.
roof,
It's the south facing roof.
and there's no directions on it. So
It would be facing,
I'm guessing it's this one.
I'm gonna look at that angle.
Looks like this one right here.
It's the one that's more sloped. Mhm.
Well, it's just hard to tell which building it is even on this photo. So that's why I'm a little confused, but that's okay. I'll try.
I
to
think
figure
it's
it out.
great. Gonna be great. Cut into the chase. We can't find it, so.
It's pretty well screened from the road.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's another property when I drove down there that they have it on their garage and you can see it right from the road. I think it's like number 42, so for the beginning of the road.
Center Street.
Mm.
Big mistake.
well, at any rate, apparently pretty well hidden. So, any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve 24-A146.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the application signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And if you'd be kind enough to sign this document, which only indicates that if you decide to move it to a different building, further confuse us, you'll let us know. Great. You are all set.
Thanks, Leah. Bye-bye.
Good night. The next item on the agenda is 24-A147. It's to install 21 solar panels on the front and rear roofs at 10 Catherine Michael Road. Christian De Silva is the owner, Freedom Forever MA LLC is the agent. And who do we have this evening?
Hi guys, my name's Melissa. I work with Freedom.
Hello.
Okay, tell us, Melissa.
All right, so we have roof-mounted solar panels, of course. It's going to be 24 panels. They're going to be black on black. Conduit's going to run through the attic. The only partial reason we couldn't utilize the entire back of the house in lieu of having part of the system on the front is that it's a duplex. So that belongs, the other half belongs to somebody else.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, short and sweet. Sorry.
Questions or comments from the committee?
I would be happier if there was a note or something from the owner of the other side of that same house, how they feel about it, but I notified, if they were notified and they haven't said anything, then that's it.
Mm.
So I noticed that the roof is sort of a light gray. You prefer a darker roof so the panels sort of blend in a little better. So that's an optimal, but that is the front roof has a southwest exposure. The back roof has a northeast exposure. Do they get much efficiency on that northeast roof?
I will have to check. I don't want to lie.
Okay,
Not as much, that's for sure.
not as much. It's like the
That was the most interesting neighborhood. I really enjoyed it. The park was somebody who had their dog in the park a couple of doors down. It is pretty much underneath the power lines, and I don't have a problem with it because it is a relatively. I don't find this to be a neighborhood that needs to be preserved so that our tourists who are looking for historic captain's homes and drive through there will be appalled at seeing solar panels. So I'm okay with it.
Other questions or comments from the committee? For the record, I would point out that as far as I could determine from my observation today, this would be the first house, if we approve the application, on Catherine Michael or the roads that connect it to Weir Road with solar panels. And I expect that there will likely be a domino effect. So we should all be prepared for that eventuality. However, it is off the beaten track and the roof is fairly flat. So the visibility aspect will be somewhat mitigated by that reality. And given the direction in which Old Kings Highway is moving, perhaps with some degree of reluctance, but nevertheless is moving toward approval of solar panels, I can't see justification for denying this application. Any other comments or questions from the committee? Any questions or comments from the public or especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
aye.
Aye. Aye.
And aye. So congratulations, Melissa, and congratulations to the homeowner. You're all set.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Happy holidays.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Days.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A148 to construct a 12 by 16-foot shed at 76 Longfellow Drive. Dean Sherman is the owner. Pine Harbor Wood Products is the agent.
Hi there. Amy from Pine Harbor Wood Products on behalf of Mr. Sherman. They're proposing to build a 12 by 16 storage / little studio kind of shed. Their property here. Got what we call our estate trim package. It's a PVC trim package with a little bit of overhang. Roofing, siding is double dipped Cape Cod gray in the back of the house. This will sit on the right-hand side of the property. Kind of built into a little hill at the end of the driveway. See the site plan. A couple of windows and a little dormer facing the road and a double door that's gonna kind of face the house. Could answer any questions.
Do we have any comments or questions?
Here.
It was kind of hard to figure out exactly where it was going to go. It looked like there was another shed at the back of the property. Is that the same property or different?
It's
Property.
actually in the far back property. I think at some point that will come down and it's very, I actually didn't think we'd be able to do this job because there's a driveway there, but it's a right of way actually. So we do have all the setbacks in place. So it sits kind of to the right side of the house and it looks like it's close to a property line, but
Right.
it's actually not.
So that driveway to the right is more of a right of way to a house that's set back there. Thank you.
Other questions or comments from the committee?
Pretty cool.
Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve 24-A148.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So if you would kindly come up and sign this in case you decide to make any changes, you'll let us know. Welcome. Good luck. The next application on the agenda is 24-A150. It's to paint shutters and doors, Hale Navy at 121 Weano Road. Keith Ledoux and Beth Evans are the owners. Looks like we have Beth on Zoom.
Yes, Keith Ledoux and Beth Evans are on Zoom.
Hello.
Hey, great.
Good evening.
Hello.
So we respectfully request to seek approval for the changing of the color of our exterior shutters, of which we have 12, and 3 exterior doors. And as you mentioned, the color that we've decided to go with is Hale Navy.
Okay. We have a color chip in our packet.
I don't think so. It's, there's kind of one.
Pale navy is one that comes.
There was one submitted.
The nice thing.
Yeah. Any questions or comments from the committee?
It'll be nice.
Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve 24-A150.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. Good luck with it.
Thanks for the consideration.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A151. It's to install 13 solar panels on the front roof at 16 Hamlin Hill Road. Marie Lafortune, hope I pronounced that correctly, is the owner and Trinity Solar is the agent.
Yes, we have Brendan, I think. Hi, Brendan. No, not you, Brendan, the other Brendan, the one who's on Zoom. He's got his hand up. Lisa's on it.
Yeah, seeing any fancy question, I don't see it.
Are you hearing us, Brendan? We're not hearing you. All right, perhaps we should table this until the end of the,
He's got his hand up again, but he's not there anymore. He's him. He's gone. He disappeared.
all right. Um,
Move to table?
okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor of tabling this application until, wait a minute, are you back, Brendan?
Can you hear me? I hope you
Yes.
can. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. All's well that ends well. So tell us about your application.
So yeah, I'll just keep it quick. The proposal was for the installation of 13 matte black panels installed across the two front-facing roofs of this dwelling.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, questions or comments from the committee?
Another interesting neighborhood.
Sure. When I looked at the house, Brendan, it appeared to me that the house has some pretty aged 3-tab shingles, not a new roof. Are they considering putting on a new roof beforehand? mean, I hate to see them put solar panels on a old roof that might need to be replaced in a few years.
I do believe we're proposing try to wrap a new roof in with the deal. Preferably, maybe charcoal colored shingles, but I don't have an answer for that right now.
I mean, doesn't necessarily affect our
Well,
decision, but it might be something the homeowner would want to take into consideration.
it affects us in this regard. Unless it's maintenance, which means you're putting the same shingles back that you're taking off,
Mhm.
then
They have to come
properly
back.
speaking, the roof should come before us.
Right.
If you're changing the roof.
Oh,
if you're gonna
absolutely.
Put the same roof on, just a new roof, then that's considered maintenance and it doesn't have to come before us. No application is required for that.
So if they change the color of the roof, that needs to come before us.
Gray area, no pun
From,
intended.
or from three tab
So-
to architectural is a change, right?
So if we keep 3 tabs, I mean, I think we'd probably switch to architectural anyway, but if we did keep 3 tabs, we wouldn't have to come to the board to propose that.
It depends on the color, doesn't it? I mean, you told me what the,
It would, if it's just a change in color, I would probably exempt it. If
Okay.
change in materials, that's, I'm not sure. I'd have to know what the materials are.
All right.
May I ask what the phrase requesting RQI, what is RQI?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, what was
I
that?
saw that, requesting RQI, on it says 18-plus-year-old roof, RQI, requesting
Ah.
RQI, 18-plus. On some of the
That's-
photos that you provided, it said requesting RQI on 18-plus-year-old roof.
Those are notes from our structural department. RQR stands for Roof Quality Review.
Ah. Okay. So I wanted to share something with you and the committee that happened to a relative of my husband's. Recently, they sold a house in Chatham that had solar panels on one roof. And since the inspector, the building inspector who was hired to determine the condition of the house, couldn't see the roof, he took a deduct of 180, a huge deduct off of the sales price because he couldn't determine the condition of the roof. So I know that there are people on the committee that say that having solar panels is beneficial when it comes to sell your house, but if you have an older roof, or if you have a roof that you can't tell the age of, then it may become a detriment to selling the house. So I just wanted to make
And I
that.
would have to argue with that, and I don't think that's part of our purview.
It's not, but I'm just,
The review, and that was duly noted in that's part of what we do as solar installers, is review the age and the quality of the roof. And it sounds like
well, no, it's not during our preview, but I'm just trying to assist the owner of the
off
house.
topic. Thank you.
We got it. I think we have the point. I think if we're going to vote on this application without knowing whether the roof will be replaced and with what materials and or colors, that we should make our vote contingent on a mutually agreeable understanding. In other words, it would be contingent on, if it is deemed that the roof needs to be replaced, that the roof be replaced strictly like for like, so that it
Okay.
would be maintenance and not need to come back before this committee. So do you understand what I'm saying, Brendan?
I understand.
Okay, great. Any other comments or questions from the committee?
I just want to clarify what that means, like for like. So that means 3-tab roof in light gray, or what are the?
It would mean, maintenance would mean the same roof, only new, color and all. If there's going to be a change in color, I will likely, in my role as chairman, exempt it. If it's exactly the same, materials, color, then we have it doesn't come before any review board, us included. It's considered maintenance. Is that clear? Okay. This house is on a cul-de-sac, among several cul-de-sacs, actually, close to the Mid-Cape Highway. Like the previous application that we dealt with, it's off the beaten track. And I believe it's at the very end of the cul-de-sac.
It is.
So I think that is a telling consideration in how we determine this application. Any other comments or questions from the committee?
My only other comment is I did notice that 2 Hamlin Hill, the first house in that street does have solar panels in the front of it, of that house.
Are we looking at, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. The house for 16 Hamblin, I don't believe that one, I think that's the next one you're looking at is on the cul-de-sac.
Sorry?
We're looking at 16 Hamlin Hill Road.
Oh, you are? Okay. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Do you have anything to add, Brian, since you thought we were looking at a different home?
No, I thought that was we were looking at the next home because you're talking about a cul-de-sac, and I know the next one's on a cul-de-sac.
Thinking,
Hamlin Hill, not a
thinking we're
cul-de-sac?
confusing it.
Well,
with
Hamlin Hill is not,
Broadway.
well, because Hamlin Hill is not a cul-de-sac. The next one is. This one is not a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Circular. So.
Okay. Are we sufficiently confused about this?
I think so.
Any questions or comments from the public or abutters in particular? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve 24-A151.
I second, but I want to add a condition to that motion that if the roof is going to be replaced, it needs to be like for like, or else we need to revisit it.
I agree.
Do we need a contingent, do some paperwork?
Well, only if they're
Um,
going to replace the roof with something.
Let's,
different, So,
yeah, if we vote to approve,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
make it contingent with the paperwork. So it's been moved and seconded with the contingency. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
aye.
Aye.
And aye. So let me get that.
I can get it.
That's right.
Want me to be your scribe?
VIP, you should want to move.
It's moving on.
Good. The next item on the agenda is 24-A152 to install 24 solar panels on the front and rear roofs at 28 Goldenrod Lane. Jenny D. Carvalho is the owner and Trinity Solar is the agent.
So the proposal, 24 solar panels, matte black. they'll be installed on the front and the back of this home. That's it.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
This is another one of those houses that you can throw a stone to Route 6, so
Yep.
This is the one
This is the one in the cul-de-sac.
Me too. I've got them. I think Brendan knew that.
we have a blizzard of solar panel applications tonight, so I'm straight on which one we're talking about now.
It's my fault. I apologize. You guys are all ready to move on to this one.
That's okay.
Sure, it's your fault. What the heck?
Nice of you to take the blame, Brendan, but no, it's buck stops here. Okay, so questions or comments from the committee?
All is said it all.
So I think questions or comments were made with respect to this application.
I didn't see any,
Previous.
I didn't see any
application.
other solar panels in the neighborhood, but it is a cul-de-sac at the very end of the cul-de-sac, close to Route 6, right?
at the very end of the.
Very end, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially interested abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So you're all set, Brendan.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A153. And just for a change of pace, it's to install two new signs at 947 Route 6A. Freedom Winslow is the owner. Plymouth Sign is the agent.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Mike Cadgell from Plymouth Sign Company. I'm here representing Winslow Plumbing and Heating. And what we'd like to do is put two new signs at the at 947 Route 6A. And the first one will be, there's an existing sign out there now, freestanding sign, that will be removed, which is, it's just a regular, I think it's a piece of plywood with vinyl letters. And we would like to replace it with a custom carved sign with gold leaf letters and white letters with a navy blue background.
Goes on the same posts,
There'll be two new posts.
two new
Yes,
posts.
but same location, yes.
What is the material of the new posts?
They will be 4x4 pressure treated posts with a PVC cover over it.
Like a sleeve?
Yes,
I like it. I like the color.
thank you.
I think it's an improvement.
Yeah, thank you.
You're including the sign over the door as well?
Yes, do you want me to tell you about both signs now? I didn't know if you go through one at a time. So yes, on the building, We would love to put a building sign, same colors, navy blue with 23 karat gold leaf E of Winslow with the word showroom in white, also carved.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
It's good.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Okay, questions or comments from the public or interested abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve 24-A153.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, you'd be kind enough to sign this document in case you should change your mind. You'll let us know.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Right here.
So you guys are over in South Yarmouth. I didn't know there was
Yeah.
a custom sign shop over there.
We've been here for 70 years this year.
70.
70.
Wow,
Family business, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, right on Old Main Street, 63 Old Main Street. Yeah, it used to be an old Hood Milk Farm.
What farm?
Hood Milk Farm about 100 years ago.
Huh?
Yeah, the buildings, same buildings. Yeah.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A154 to install a new sign at 939 Route 6A. SL Coastal Homes is the owner and Plymouth Signs is the agent. So tell us about this one.
Right. Again, Mike from Plymouth Sign Company here representing SNL Coastal Homes at 939 Route 6A. It's actually the building right to the right of where Winslow is, and there's an old sign there for unique properties. We are proposing to take that down and install a custom carved black background 23 karat gold sign in its place.
This is a sign on the building itself, correct?
Yes.
And you're leaving the sign on the street as it is?
Yes, I believe that's a new sign. We didn't do it.
It looks new.
Yeah, and we're not touching that.
Okay.
Well, we may put a slat on there, but it will match all the other signs
Okay.
that are on there, which I believe are black and gold.
It looks like you're covering events. Is that true?
We'll be away from the vent.
Okay, give
Yeah.
it some air. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve, approve
I'll
24.
second.
8154.
Okay.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye.
Excellent. Thank you.
If you'll sign this one.
Yes. And I just
you-
want to say, I just want to thank Lisa for like all the help she gave me. She's excellent.
She deserves all the praise. She is.
Around for a while. Too bad she doesn't work hard, though.
Yeah.
Lisa's the best, no doubt.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Mike.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A155. It's to replace a window at 102 Pheasant Cove Circle. Stephen Coughlin is the owner. Alexei Ledbedev is the agent.
Is somebody on?
I think we're
Zoom?
waiting for Alexei.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to proceed in his stead?
Sure. If the questions get too difficult, I will have to.
It shouldn't be. Go ahead.
Steve Coughlin, the owner at 102 Pheasant Cove Circle. And we're proposing a new window. It is the only exterior renovation as part of the renovation remodel of our kitchen. And because there is no existing countertop in that area of the kitchen on the front of the house, we have particular double window casement. It's a double casement. And we are going to put, as part of the renovation, a countertop in that section of the kitchen. And that will result in placement of the window, which will be the exact same window that we have over our other countertop in the sink, that is on the south-facing side of the house. The difference is from the existing, it's not as tall, and it will be a triple casement window. Right now, it's a double. We're doing the triple. The renovation allows for it, and it will allow us to take in more of our view of the marsh.
Okay.
Is that it? Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
Which I'm didn't get any pictures, so I might be. Well, I have these pictures. Are they the same? So I'm confused as to which window.
Okay, if you have a picture of the front of the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, it is the leftmost window on the front of the house, left side, left.
Next to the garage.
Correct.
The one next to the.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's going to match the triple on the other side to the
Here's
left
a
of the chimney.
double on the other side,
Oh,
and it will match that one,
Oh.
only it will be a triple,
and shorter.
sorry.
Shorter?
And shorter than the existing double.
Okay. To accommodate a counter.
Correct.
Mhm.
So the materials of the window will match the existing windows in terms of what it's is it vinyl exterior.
No, they'll be matching, it's the exact same, RV
Okay.
window.
So I just want to be clear on exactly the size of this window in relationship to the window between the door and the window you're replacing, and in relationship to the window on the other side of the front of the house to the left of the chimney. We don't have any schematic here to indicate exactly what the size is in relationship to the existing windows.
Right.
Can you tell us? I know it's shorter, but how much shorter?
Do you have a picture of the window on the south side of the house?
Oh, on the gable end. Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yes.
The little window on the gable end?
It doesn't go down quite as far.
You talking about
Right.
this one?
Yes, it's gonna be
Okay.
a similar size to that. Doesn't go down quite as low.
Thank you.
So will it be the same width as the other triple window to the left of the chimney? Is it going to be that
Yeah.
wide? It
Yeah,
will
it
be.
will. Yes,
It'll be that wide. It'll be the same height as the window on the gable end.
correct.
Okay.
But it will come up, it won't go quite as low. The sill will be a little bit higher. The sill of the new triple casement will be a little bit higher than the existing because the counter.
It should be the same,
Okay.
should be level, should be the same height.
Okay. Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from members of the public or abutters in particular? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve 24-A155.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So if you'll sign this document in case you change your mind, let us know. Good luck with it. The next item on the agenda is 24-A156 to replace a window at 125 Pompano Road. Michael Dunn is the owner.
Good evening. My name is Michael Dunn. I'm the homeowner of 125 Pompano Road. And I'm proposing to replace the bay window that's on the house right now to take it out and just put 3 singular flat windows side by side in that same opening.
Did you recently buy this?
I did, yeah. And I closed in the middle of August.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're going to be, I'm sorry, you finished with your,
Yep.
are they going to be double hung?
Yes, double hung. I
That's
believe,
what's there.
yes. So I believe I added the cut sheets of the windows, the 70 series, white double hung vinyl windows, American Craftsman.
And what's the grid? How are the grids applied, do you know?
It's 6 on top, 6 on the bottom.
The interior, exterior,
They're,
in between the glass?
glass.
In between the glass?
Yep.
Is that what you've got currently on it? Is the woods between the glass?
They're not in between the glass right now, but those are the original windows. And I also got a permit to
Replace them.
replace like windows.
So you're going to replace them with grills between the glass? Is that your plan?
For the 3 that I'm putting for, yes, all the ones that I'm replacing, they're gonna have the grid in between the
They'll all
glass.
match.
Yes.
Well, I think removing the bay window is an improvement. It's looks a little top heavy with that window on the second floor.
I agree.
What do you think of the pediment over the door? You like that?
We'll see.
Not that
I'm,
it's a
We'll see.
concern.
Good answer.
Just curious.
I'm more focused on getting moved in right now,
There you go.
so whatever I need to do
This
for
is
the
an
inside. of the
appropriate
house.
question, but.
Okay.
Love it.
On, no, just kidding.
Any other questions or salient relevant comments from the committee?
I should probably look at them, so, you know, what-
No.
Hey. Hearing none. Hello, any questions or comments from the public, especially abutters? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion
I'll
on this
move to
application.
approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So congratulations. And if you'll sign this in case you change your mind and decide you can't live without that bay window, you'll let us know.
Good luck. Do you have a lot of work ahead of you with the house? It's a big project for you.
Yeah, a little. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
It's good.
But getting ready to move in soon, so this is a big help. with,
Awesome.
Good.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.
See you later.
Good night.
Next one's.
Have to recuse.
Oh, okay.
Recuse. Recuse.
So committee member Argo is an abutter, so she has quite properly
Here, there.
recused herself from next application by way of explanation.
Correct the butter, but she lives close.
We should recuse ourselves.
In this discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next item on the agenda is 24-A157 to add a room to the right side with two skylights, replace the front door, add a roof overhang, and replace the garage doors at 285 Mayfair Road. Brandon Okoro is the owner.
Good night to everybody.
Brandon.
Good evening. All right, tell us.
Yeah, I wanna add a room over the right-hand side. Change the front door, then change the two garage door.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, questions or comments from the committee on this application?
Are you adding it on to what looks like an addition already? This part, you're adding it onto that?
Yes, I'm adding it on top of it.
On top of it?
Yeah, just to raise it.
Okay, so you're just going up, you're not going out.
No,
on, on.
but then the right side, there's an addition on the right side too, correct?
Yes, that's approved already, the left-hand side.
The right side was, so I know you were here before and I don't recall exactly what we approved before, so I'm sorry, I'm a little
Oh,
confused.
you didn't have this listed.
Right, right. So you're replacing the garage doors
Yes,
and you had a so this is two like that. And what is the garage doors? What are they going to be made out of? What kind of material? Do you know?
is insulated, is It's more like it's a regular garage door, but it's a newer size.
So is it wood? Is it vinyl? Is it aluminum? Is it fiberglass? Do you know what it's
It's
gonna be
a,
made out
it's
of?
a like a vinyl.
Like a vinyl?
Yeah.
Okay. So no windows in it, just the
No
little
windows, no.
paneling like
No.
that shows. Okay. And then the front door will have a window like that.
Yes.
And what
correct.
color will the door be?
White.
And the garage door is also white?
Yes.
So on this is the part that was approved before to add up above that? I'm sorry, I don't recall. This is the right side addition.
No, it's gonna be on top of the little, just to match the roof together.
Sorry?
It's gonna be on top of the little part on the right-hand side, just to
This part.
match, no,
So
on
it's-
top of it. Yes,
Raise it up.
yeah, raise it up. It's a
It'll be
dormer.
to match the roof line with the adjacent building.
Yes,
And will the front of that come out to the same?
it's not coming out.
So it's just up.
Yeah, just up.
Okay. And any windows, well, let me go back to the drawing. Skylights on
No
top.
window, just the skylight.
Okay. And so the overhang over the front door, that's new as well?
Yes,
And that's gonna be, the roof will match the same roof that you have existing on the house,
correct.
which is black or gray?
Black.
And you've got two columns that support the front corners of that
Yes.
overhang. What are they made of?
They are made of maybe vinyl.
So you're raising the roof above the garage doors, correct? Adding a room above the garage? And is that roof line going to continue from the main part of the house, or is it going to be set back, or?
It's not gonna
hard-
step back, just to raise it up. There's a room inside of it. It's like maybe about 5 feet.
So you
So
just
we
need
just
more.
want to raise it a little bit more so that we can have
Okay.
we can have a bathroom inside.
You show skylights above and then two windows in the part that you're raising?
Yes.
And what sort of windows are you planning to put there?
I think it's American graph window. It's been approved the last time I came.
Oh, that was approved?
Yes.
So I'm sorry, I don't remember what was approved the last time.
Yeah, approved.
So they'll match the other windows in the house. So I'm sorry, explain to me what's new tonight versus the last time? The overhang, the front door, the addition on the right side, and the
Yes.
garage doors.
When we came the last time, there's a little bit of mistakes on the application.
Right.
So we applied for clapboard. We applied for the to put a balcony at the back.
I'm sorry,
Balcony.
a balcony, or deck in the back or something,
Yeah, at
okay?
the back.
That's right.
And then the two boats to raise it, but they approved one, and they asked me to come back for the
I
second
see,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, thank you.
And forgive me if you've said this already, Brendan, but the roof on the overhang is going to match the roof on the house.
Yeah, correct, sir.
So the roof in the house now is gray or black?
It's black.
Okay. And the house itself is, so you're putting clapboards on. The shingles are just weathered shingles, but the clapboards you're putting on the front are gonna be painted gray, is that right?
Yeah, to paint it gray.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the one person who's left? I didn't think so. Anyone online? No. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve 24-A157.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So congratulations, Brendan.
Thank you,
And
sir.
if you, as you are aware by virtue of the fact that you came before us and you've been sitting through all of this, sign this in case you want to make any changes. You'll let us know. You're welcome. All right. Have a good night.
Oh, nice. Okay, that looks great. Good. Are you doing the work yourself? Are you doing the work yourself?
Is this the balcony you were talking about? And that's, oh,
Nice.
no, I thought it was gonna be like a Romeo balcony that you could go out on. It's a real balcony. Okay.
Or you can't go out in the Juliet ones?
Good night.
Yeah, good luck, Brandon.
Right.
Get, or I guess maybe Brendan's told her that she can come back.
She's talking.
Burn that, will you?
Yeah, that's going home with me.
Uh,
Missed you terribly.
Oh, honey.
All right. Now we move on to the two tabled applications. The first one is 24-A141. It's to replace windows at 214 Route 6A. Catherine Dolan is the owner, MT McMahon and Son is the agent. We need to have a motion to untable this application.
So move to one, oh, sorry. I moved to one table 24-A141.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And aye. Okay, now we will hear 24-A141. Catherine, you have the floor.
So Catherine Dolan, 214 Route 6A. I went to Housing Assistance, who is helping me with the cost of the windows, and gave them the specifications that you asked for. And I received their reply. Which do you want first, vinyl or wooden?
It's whatever they said.
Okay, so the wooden windows that you asked for in the front, those aren't possible for them. They don't meet an energy efficiency value. The installer, his quote exactly was, "We do not have a manufacturer for the wooden windows that meets the R and U values that are required for funding."
Wow.
So if they are to remain wooden windows, they would not be part of the application for funding that the housing assistance would make. They would be left out. In other words, I would be on the hook to replace them if I so choose at full cost to me.
Okay.
And with the vinyl windows, those are the 5 windows in the front that are the 20th century windows, according to what your expert told us. So the rest of the windows that are the 19th century windows and are perhaps original to the house, and the 1880 windows, there were 2 of those and then 3 of those. Those windows you specified could be replaced with vinyl windows, and your parameters were 6/6 grids and simulated divided light. Apparently, the windows that receive funding are with no grids and no divided light. So any window that we order, like the 6/6 is, that's considered an upgrade. The grid itself is considered an upgrade. So I would be on the hook for $110 per window for the grid itself. After that, the simulated divided light, That is also considered an upgrade. And that upgrade would be $310 per window for 21 windows. So if you combine those two, that's an overage of $8,820 that if I decide to go with the 21 windows to be replaced, that I would have to pay in order to upgrade.
So you said 110 for grids at all.
For grids.
So
yes.
they were the free windows to you have no grids whatsoever. They're just clear.
Correct.
0 over 0, no divided lights whatsoever.
Yes.
So any grids are going to be an upgrade to you.
Yes.
And grids snap in are 110, true divided lights, another 3, something you said.
Yes.
Okay.
Not happy news.
No, and very disappointed about the wooden windows not being able to be even part of the package.
Hmm.
They can't even order them because they don't meet the energy efficiency value. So if those in truth were to remain wooden, they would probably remain in the condition that they are in now for the foreseeable future, which is ironic because they, to me, are the ones that look like they need the help the most. So if those 5 front windows are to remain wooden, I probably wouldn't choose to replace them at all. I would then eventually try to find the money to restore those 5 windows, even though they are not even original to the house. They're the 20th century ones. Only because if I were to purchase the 5 new wooden windows, they'd be 2 paned rather than the single pane. But the energy efficiency value in that is negligible, so I might as well just restore the ones that I have rather than pay the money to upgrade to a new wooden window in the front.
Did you look into the interior storms, the plexiglass interior storms at all?
Yes, I did. They can't be funded by housing assistance because it's the unit itself that goes in has to meet their energy efficiency code. And with this, my single paned wooden windows plus a indoor interior storm wouldn't meet that value. And the storm itself, the window itself has to be what meets their energy efficiency value. The interior storms don't meet that.
Not very flexible, are they?
Well, you're asking for funding for energy efficiency.
Well,
That's why
it would be an improvement, though. I mean, if they paid for a plexiglass insert, it would cost so much less than replacing the whole window. It would still give you an improved efficiency, I would think. But
it will improve the efficiency, but you're asking, it won't meet their value. And I would then have to still be on the hook to restore the wooden window to start with. And then add the interior, right? Because the window would still be there. It still need reglazing, whether I put an interior storm or not.
And they understand you're in a historic district.
Yes.
And they understand
Yes.
this hurdle that you have to get over in order to get approval for this.
That's why we came here first.
I know.
And
Yeah.
she didn't really discuss price or anything with me prior to. She wanted to know what you guys were going to ask for.
It's a conundrum.
it is.
Yeah.
Do we have a funding mechanism? Christmas.
Fund me.
There you go.
Well, anyone see an avenue for compromise here? Can we?
I'm more concerned about the grills.
I'm concerned about all of this.
Yeah.
It's,
Certainly not 0 over 0 is going to work.
no.
No,
No.
I wouldn't even, if that was what all I was offered, then No, I don't think that would.
If you
be
knew that,
remotely appropriate.
if you knew that at the outset, you probably wouldn't have come in the first time.
Yeah, and I mean, to get the 6/6 grids for $110 per window, each window, I mean, that is a sum of money that I could definitely, when you consider the energy efficiency and the fact, I mean, it would pay for itself pretty quickly with what I'd be saving on fuel costs. So I could manage to probably find the money for that. But then when you
20.
go into the additional simulated divided light at $300, that's a little bit harder for me to find the money to come up with. So what I'm saying is probably 6/6. The funder will probably help us meet that because we are in the historic district. But then after that simulated divided light, we will definitely not find the funding for that most likely. So,
And we're just talking, are we focused now just on the 5 windows on the gable
no,
end?
we're talking about the whole, the
Let's-
5 in the front. They won't,
Well,
yeah.
for the, right now, let's focus on those 5 windows.
Okay.
All right, so, in order to get the energy efficiency that you want, that they're offering, and to get the simulated divided light, you're gonna have to pay 110 plus 300 and what, something?
No, those windows aren't part of the proposal anymore because you wanted them to be wood.
Okay,
If you allowed me to have vinyl in there, those 5 in the front, then yes.
and that's all they offer you either,
Vinyl.
they're
or
not
vinyl.
doing more, then the vinyl is, that's it. That's all they offer.
She said that wood does not have the same
Yeah.
energy efficiency
Vinyl
factor.
is, yeah, it's all they're offering. It's triple paned. It'll reduce the noise as well as my energy costs.
Just for the sake of argument,
Mhm.
if we were to, and I'm not saying we will, but if we were to go with the vinyl with simulated divided light, 6/6, would you be able to swing that
On just the front 5?
just
Or
on the
whole house?
5?
Front 5. So what is it? 110 plus 350? I forgot what the number was.
Yeah, so, it's 310 per window and then 110 per window for the grids, 310 for the simulated divided light. Yeah, yeah.
Isn't it just either or?
Yeah, how does that work?
It's not,
No, the grids are one fee and then you add the simulated divided light on top of that. That's another fee.
So where do the grids go? So I guess I don't know how
So it'd
simulated
probably
divided
be-
light works in a triple pane window. Is it in between each of the 2 air spaces?
I don't know the
I'm not
spec.
quite sure how simulated divided light's in a triple pane window. I've never seen a triple pane window. Up close and personal it is.
Mm. Can't really tell from the specs that they gave us.
Simulated divided light has a strip in between the panes of glass with the grid applied on the outside. So it appears that the grid goes all the way through. So I'm wondering how they do it on a triple pane window. I'm not sure. I've never seen that. See if I can look.
So your priority is those 5 windows, is that correct? That would be what you'd most like to see changed. Am I right about that?
No, I'm looking to have all 21 windows replaced.
Yeah.
And initially you had said they could be except for the private.
Well, we're not crazy about vinyl windows on 6A. We're also not crazy about grids on the inside. So here's the thing, when you have a grid applied on the inside, which a lot of people do to make it look like it's got the traditional 6/6, when you drive by or the sun reflection on the window, it looks like one sheet of glass. It doesn't look like it has divided light from the outside. So that bothers me on a historic house, particularly on 6A. So I'm not quite sure how they would do it with a triple. So I guess I need to do a little more research to find out exactly what that would look like, I think.
So does an exterior applied grid look better?
I don't know about the durability for one.
I don't know if it was permanently applied. I mean, sometimes the ones on the inside are like snap in, you know what I mean? So you can pull it out and make it easier to clean the window, which is the big advantage of that type of window. It's easier to clean.
Well, that is offered, isn't it? I mean, as one of the specs.
I just want to see what the simulated divided light looks like
If you
in a
can get a
triple
picture of
pane.
it.
So right now, the five they're not real grid. Right?
Here they are.
You know what bothers me about this is that I compare it to, say you wanted to paint this house.
Mhm.
And the company said, yeah, we can do this, and we'll give you help to do it, but we can only paint it purple. You know what I mean? It seems to me to lose the integrity of the historical value of the house is a shame. And because it's a financial issue. I understand where you're coming from. It's what you can afford and you're going to get help on this. But it just to me seems to destroy the integrity of the historical value of that house. But your situation is what it is. So I think that's
Yeah.
the dilemma.
It is.
It is, and I understand how it is a dilemma that you have to take into consideration because the home exists in the heart of the historic district and the age of the house. I understand that. But I want the home to remain in my family. I spoke to you earlier about the legacy. The home is not a museum. It's inhabited by a family. And that family may or may not have the resources generations down the line to fund heating it in the wintertime and to cool it in the summer. And if I don't do something about it now, that would be a huge regret. They may feel it necessary to sell the house because the maintenance cost is so high. And I look at it like the conversation is happening now about you've approved all these homes for weatherization measures like solar panels, like vinyl windows. It won't take very long for that conversation to take place regarding antique homes. It will happen. We won't receive exemptions for it. It's happening now with regard to the energy bill that was just signed. And I believe in our lifetime, the language of that will change. And I have the opportunity now to do something about it for my family at no cost to me. They may not have the resources at that point in time when it becomes a mandate, when the conversation is no longer, can I have energy efficient windows in my antique home? When the conversation becomes, why won't you put energy efficiency measures into your antique home?
Well, you can, I mean, it's a matter of resources.
Mm-hmm.
You can have both. You can have energy efficiency that would make this committee happy.
So Catherine,
It's a matter of the expenditure. That's what we're,
Right.
really,
They
that's the
might-
hangup, is the
I
cost.
mean, at some point, these massive rebates that you can get on heat pumps, the assistance that you can get for vinyl windows and other weatherization measures in your home, those resources will dry up when it's mandated that you have to do it to your home.
so I'm curious, this is a little bit off subject, but somewhat related. I'm curious why you had to remove the floors in the front of your house. I'm not sure that wasn't a cheap project. I'm just curious why, what compelled you to remove the flooring and the floor joists?
I
fell through the floor.
And the joists were all bad?
There was a combination of termite damage as well as moisture damage And I had two different engineers, one of whom is my brother-in-law, so I know he's not trying to cheat me out of money by replacing something in my home that doesn't need to be replaced. I also had an architect underneath the home. All of them were able to put a hammer or a fist through those joists.
The joists or the floorboards?
The joists that holding the floor up.
Mm-hmm. And they couldn't replace them or sister them in?
No, that had been attempted, I think sometime in the 80s, and it wasn't done correctly. So it was really not helping the situation at all.
Can I just reiterate the vinyl windows with no grids is what they are willing to pay for?
That is initially what gets funded without really any question.
So is it even possible that they would fund vinyl windows with some kind of grids?
Yes, it was intimated to me that housing assistance, she may, because I am in the historic district and, certain concessions need to be made to that she could probably get the 6/6 grids funded, but simulated divided light, that won't be an upgrade that they will fund. The grids can go in, but how they go in, if it's simulated divided light, it will be $310 for the upgrade. If it's a different type of divided or, grid type that you'd like, it's probably a different price. But again, probably won't be funded.
What about the trim? Are you going to keep the existing trim or you are? Okay.
So
Yeah, in fact, I had the house, I had Cape Cod Window Restoration come over and give me a price on what it would do to restore the windows. And she said the sills and the trim in the front were all in great shape. The only actually,
The sash is what,
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So is it just the sashes that are being replaced, like a typical replacement window? They're not taking any of the frame out at all, just the sashes? So the
Correct.
sashes will remain as wood?
Well, just to kind of get people thinking, I'm prepared to approve a vinyl window, all vinyl window with the grid that they will provide.
What grid would that be?
We
this
don't
simulated
know.
divided light grill?
We can't approve something we don't know what it is, though.
Well, at one point we even said a snap-in is fine.
But I don't think we ever said that.
I don't remember ever hearing that said.
Fine.
Uh,
Nonetheless, I think
Well, if,
we need then to find out what grid they will provide, and do we table this again?
well, they won't really, they'll provide the 6/6, but they won't.
They won't do the
Right, where it goes is on.
simulated divided light
Yeah.
is what they really
Yeah.
are balking at.
So if you say it can be a different type of grid, it will probably just cost me less money. It won't be $310 upgrade. It will be I don't know, $180 upgrade or whatever. So it's really about, I'll have to be on the hook for that money regardless.
The grid money.
Yeah.
But didn't you say that they were sounding like they might approve a grid?
The 6/6.
Yeah.
That style, that'll be approved, but where it goes in the window, whether it's a simulated divided light,
Right.
whether it's a snap-in grid, however that goes in.
We find out?
No, it doesn't sound like they're going to improve. They're not going to approve the simulated. They're not going to pay for the simulated divided light.
Understood.
She said she might be able to work with them to get them to agree to pay for some sort of
So maybe we need to
grids.
find out what that
Well,
would be.
Before that, I think the primary question is to you, Catherine. Obviously, you're going to have to accept some level of compromise here. We're at loggerheads with Harvey on this. So I think what you need to do is prioritize what is most important. Is it those 5 windows that's most important? Or is it, I mean, it seems to me that you're not going to be able to afford all 21 in a way that we can accept. So what's most important to you? the start there. If it's the 5 on the gable end, then I think you have to go back to Harvey and say, this is what they would like. How much is it going to cost me? What's the upcharge for me? If that is your top priority, those 5 windows. I know what you'd really ideally like to do is replace all 21 and have them all be the same grill pattern if we're going to go with grills, which we obviously, we want to. But because of the financial burden on you, it's not doable from what I'm hearing. So,
But before I think before we pose that decision to her, we as a group, as a committee, need to decide if we're comfortable with vinyl windows on the gable end facing.
well, if that's what her top priority is, that's my question. Is that what you want most?
the $8,000 upgrade for the grids and the simulated divided light for all 21 windows is, I can find.
You will do that.
Well, that's
That's
I think
okay. I didn't know that.
That's what I'm trying,
so-
yeah.
So,
I believe that is doable at some point regarding these windows.
Oh,
The 5 in the front have to be included in that.
Right,
And you initially said that they needed to be wood,
right,
which
so
they
that's what the
won't
question
be.
is.
right.
Are we okay
got
with
that.
vinyl on the
oh,
front?
okay. Well, I think we're getting,
So
All right,
if we're
so-
okay with vinyl on the front gable end facing 6A, that's a question we need to decide.
Mhm.
And if we are comfortable with the 6/6 being a
The
snap in, then perhaps we could propose, again, if we're comfortable with the vinyl on the front, is that she does the simulated divided light on the front 5 windows in the gable end visible from 6A, and the rest of the windows don't have to have simulated divided light.
Are you
Sounds good.
following that?
Mhm.
Okay.
real
But
good.
that's a question if we're okay with vinyl on the front. So that's
Well,
precursor to that discussion.
all right. Well, here's how I look at this. The windows that are currently there are
20th century windows.
right. And so they're expendable. So the question is even with vinyl, is it, in our collective opinion, does that constitute an upgrade from what's currently there? Better. Is it better?
In terms of energy efficiency?
In terms of, no. In terms, we know it's better in terms of energy
So then
efficiency.
in what regard?
Is it better in terms of our mission?
No.
Is it an improvement in terms of our
The
mission?
problem is that down the road, again, you got a slippery slope. Down the road, if somebody on 6A says they want to put vinyl windows in their 1800-year-old house, how do you say no?
Well,
I'm struggling because I've been told by, and I don't even want to use names, that they're on 6A and they have vinyl windows.
There are definitely vinyl windows in 6A. There are people on 6A that never came before this committee
Well-
and changed their windows.
Right. So I mean, I'm not so sure that we're
But it is, yeah.
busting.
and there, some of those windows may have been pre-existing before
Mhm.
before Old Kings Highway was instituted. That's possible also.
Feel like the vinyl is something that we're going to have to accept.
Or it's made out of petroleum products.
Mhm.
I'm not against you, just.
No, I don't.
None of us
I-
are.
yeah.
We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to find something.
Stand where you have
This,
to
Are you
stand.
the only one who has an interest in this house? You want to save it for the family.
Mhm.
Is there anybody in the family that feels the same way about this as you do
Mhm.
currently?
Yeah.
Are they willing to contribute anything to this?
We have a fund for the house and the repairs that need to be done. And we're trying to prioritize the ones that will keep the house standing, like replacing the floor joists. So that is not an infinite budget. It is
Or
finite.
unlimited.
And so
Oh, yeah.
when you consider those projects have to take priority, at the same time as I'm doing this, I'm also finding out, hey, you should, my contractor is telling me some of the stuff that we're going to do could be done for you through Mass Save. So that is where the whole exploration of window replacement came from. And it started there. I probably would not have chosen to do it at this time. But it started there and the opportunity is in front of me now and I feel obligated to come before you and ask for permission to do it.
would you consider extracting the 5 gable end windows from the mass save issue? In other words, get Harvey to address the other 16 windows. And then we deal with the 5 gable end windows separately. It's not part of the funding. And then
Right, but
we could get, I mean, it's going to cost more money,
no, that's what I
obviously.
said. I mean, at
I-
the beginning of the conversation, that is what I said, that if that is the case, if they are to remain wooden, then the restoration of them would cost, and I, had the estimate done, $1,800 per window, not to exceed 2,000.
And where did you get this estimate from?
Cape Cod Window Restoration.
Okay. And they would be wooden windows. correct?
And they would.
Just
no,
restoring
they'd
what
be
you
the-
have.
They'd be the windows that are there now. We're
What
talking
he
about
has.
restoring. If
Right.
I were to try to replace
Painting 'em.
wooden windows and have them like double pane so that they'd give me some energy efficiency up there, those windows would probably cost about, on average, I looked it up, it was probably about $1,500 a window.
Cheaper than restoring them.
Little bit.
Well,
I think you could get them restored for less, but
would they be willing to deal with the 16 windows
who's that?
and not deal with the
Housing.
housing? Just deal with those and not,
think so.
remove the 5 gable end windows from consideration.
They would, yeah.
They
If
would
you-
do that.
Yeah,
Okay. So we could talk about the 16 windows and what we're willing to accept.
Okay with that.
no, I want all the windows restored. I mean, replaced. And to me, I mean, if you're willing to let me replace the antique windows that are in my home with vinyl windows, I understand that those 5 are technically more visible from 6A.
They're actually more visible, not technically. In fact.
I mean,
So-
the front of my house will then have all the vinyl windows in it, and the 20th century windows are the ones that will be wooden.
Probably in better condition though. The 20th century ones, I would imagine, are in better conditions than the 1830s windows. No?
No, the glazing is all peeling off of those front 5 windows because of the sunlight. They, in my opinion, they look the worst.
I'm prepared to accept the vinyl windows. That's my stand.
Conundrum.
It is.
Uh,
And if we accept the vinyl window, then it's gonna cost you $8,000 is what you're saying.
Yep.
Oh, if she
She's
does,
willing
if she
to,
does simulated divided light at all of them, if she only does the grids, it's 110 per window.
well, what are
Well,
we,
the grid of where you put the grid is an upgrade regardless.
It's
It's
110 per window, right?
the pattern is 110 per window. But how that is placed on the window, whether it's interior, exterior, snap-on, whatever, that's all an upgrade. How much of an upgrade? If it's simulated divided light, I know that it costs $310.
Is it 110 to put the panes on the exterior of the windows? Or you don't know?
I don't know that information. I'm assuming that it will be less of an upgrade.
Because I would think that on the exterior of the window would give the appearance of more true divided light, as opposed to having a snapping grid on the interior where the exterior is one solid pane when the sun hits it or when your headlights hit it or anything else.
they do snap-ins on the exterior.
But if they're applied on the outside, I imagine they're permanently applied, not snap-ins.
So let's
Yeah.
let me regroup here for a minute. You want all the windows to match. That's important to you.
Mhm.
All right. Does that like, you know,
No, energy efficiency is the most important.
that's the most important
Yeah,
thing.
because it's cost
Okay.
savings.
Um,
I mean,
well, you could certainly, I'm trying to wrap my head around all the different parameters here and come up with some kind of compromise solution that won't be perfectly, it's not going to satisfy you totally, obviously, because if you had the money, you'd say, fine, well, whatever you want, whatever we want, but you don't. So, and it's probably not going to totally, completely satisfy us. That's what compromise is. But I'm thinking, so priority one is energy efficiency. Priority two is that they match.
yeah,
Okay.
say that was fair.
So you can get energy efficiency with single pane windows with not full energy efficiency, but, and I know that they mandate that you have
Their windows,
thermal pane windows.
right?
So, but for the, if we were to separate the 5 in the front from the consideration and that will fly. Then we could think about vinyl energy efficiency windows with 6/6 with simulated divided lights. What's the cost again? You said you would pay that, right?
310, yeah.
Okay. So we got 16 windows taken care of theoretically if this committee will swallow that. Then we separate the 5 out. And you're not going to get the same R value with single pane, true divided lights and interior plexiglass. Interior plexi storms are very cheap. Well, very. They're cheap relative to everything else we've been talking about. And they work. I have them in my house. They keep out draft and you've got the same 2 layers as you do with thermal pane glass.
Yeah, I looked
Oh.
into it. They're like $300, I think, a window. is
Well,
what
maybe
they
the
say.
price has gone up. There's a place called All Cape Aluminum around the corner at the base of Willow on 28 that,
Yeah, that's where I got my doors.
okay, good place, good guy. So what, are you following what I'm proposing here?
Yeah, you're proposing I leave out the 5 front windows
Mhm.
and that they remain wood
Oh,
regardless
the
of.
5 front windows, that can be a separate application. We can talk about the 5 front windows independently of the other 16.
But you still
So-
want them to remain wood and what happens after that is,
Up to you, if you want to, well, it's up to you in if it's acceptable to us.
okay.
I mean, I'm very hesitant about vinyl. I'm definitely hesitant about snap-in grills. But the other windows, although, as a preservationist, it's difficult for me to swallow removing original windows that are in good shape, but they're not visible from 6A and,
I was just going to make that point, Bob.
yeah.
If we're going to allow her to, if we're going to allow her to remove and destroy original windows from the early 1800s and put in vinyl, then why not just put them all throughout the whole house?
Because of the visibility question. I'm not thrilled with the idea. I'm
Just
throwing
saying,
out
I'm
ideas.
I'm almost in some ways more opposed to getting rid of the original material and replacing that with vinyl then the visibility factor. So it's a conundrum in both.
Yeah, we
Regards.
we could remove the windows and they'd be reused,
I know, I s-
repurposed somewhere else. It's not ideal. It's not great. I'm not thrilled with, I'm just trying to come up with anything at this point, and I'm not sure there's anything that
I think that my,
can deal with.
my suggestion earlier might be what we settle on.
What is it?
Replace them all with vinyl. Put in 6/6 grids on the exterior of all the windows and do simulated divided light on the 5 in the front.
All right. Catherine?
Yeah, I mean, I can take that to housing assistance and hopefully we'll get the funding for that.
You may just have to pay for the simulated divided light and the 5 in the front, which would be like $1,500.
That's
I
it.
mean, it just seems to me that if we're gonna put vinyl windows throughout the rest of the house, including original material, there's other vinyl windows on 6A, whether we like it or not. And the house is a little bit set back.
There's a little bit setback.
Simulated divided light and grids on the exterior will mitigate that glare of a single pane that really annoys me to no end in a historic house. So I just, it's kind of the only compromise that kind of the only compromise that I can.
I think that's really the only viable
It
answer.
works for Catherine too, which is important.
Thank you. Okay, so just so I understand, you're saying 6/6 panels and exterior applied grids. The front windows as well?
Yes,
Mhm.
So no more simulated divided
just the
light.
front 5
And-
have a simulated divided light as
Front
well as the
five.
exterior grids. So exterior grids in the whole, all 21. Simulated divided light in the front 5 gable end windows that face 6A.
Okay.
Mhm. Good.
And then you're only out of pocket. Maybe you could negotiate with them on the grids.
I can certainly make the motion and have it seconded and we can vote.
All right. I move that we, do you need me to say it or you got it down?
I
huh?
got it.
Yeah.
Just want to.
So moved.
Whatever, what Cindy's.
Second,
All in favor signify by saying aye.
discussion or? no?
Well, okay, we can discuss. I don't know how
Is
much
there
more
any further
discussion.
discussion?
I don't know how much more we can discuss. But sure, more to discuss.
I just think that that's just, I mean, otherwise we're just gonna kick the can down the road and have to come to a decision
Are
eventually.
we making a motion on what you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're ready to vote.
All
And are you
21
ready
vinyl,
to second it?
I just did.
It's been moved and seconded.
21 vinyl windows.
Started discussing.
The exterior and then,
Well, I
simulated so we just want to make, the purpose of having further discussion is so everyone is getting ready to vote is clear what they're
Okay.
voting on. Because in the past, there have been times when people weren't clear and maybe have voted differently if they were not, if they were more clear. That's the purpose of further discussion, especially on a complicated vote like this, where we've had quite a bit of discussion. We want to clarify exactly what we're deciding on. So my proposal was for 21 vinyl windows with applied 6/6 applied exterior grids with simulated divided light just on the front 5 gable end windows facing 6A. Make sense?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? I will call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Are you voting? Aye. Sorry. We usually start with you. I got confused. Aye.
Nay.
Okay.
Okay, carries. 4-1. So good luck with it.
You, and thank you for the compromise.
Welcome.
Okay, if you'll come up and sign this, Catherine, in case change your mind. It's entirely possible, I think, in this case, but
Maybe a future generation will
You see
replace
2 over
them all
2
with
grids
wood
in there.
divided lights again.
Yeah, really.
There's always that possibility.
all right. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Catherine.
What is the grid and what are the? Grids and the divided lights, what is it?
So with the place of windows.
Hmm.
Good luck, Catherine.
Right.
Good luck. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Do I have to write out a contingency thing?
She signed, she did, she signed the wrong one. That was
Can you
my
try to
bad.
get her?
Should I get her?
Yeah, see if you can.
Get her.
Okay.
Catherine?
Catherine, yeah. Probably
Oh, God. Getting tired.
yeah. Town meeting was over an hour and a half ago.
Maybe we can just change the thing on the top. Oh, I just had her sign the next one. So maybe we can just,
Yeah, I can do that.
you can do that.
I can do that, yeah.
All right.
Because we have to.
Yeah, amendment thing, yeah. Here, because I figured we needed it again.
It's hard.
Of course.
All right, let's see if I can do this one.
Modifications. Okay, good. I think I hear,
Yeah, she's coming.
hear noises.
Yeah, she's coming.
Okay.
Okay, so thanks for, so we've decided no.
You're not
Uh,
signing anything.
So anyway, I had you sign the wrong one. So I've been doing so good tonight too.
But I still want to know. what they
So-
are. Yeah. but I'm just reading.
No, it's not your
Right
fault. It's entirely mine. So anyway, all right, thanks. Okay, now you're free to go. Okay.
Okay, so.
Stimulated as interim.
All right.
Okay, good night, Catherine.
Goes in between glass and nothing on the outside.
But these are all called. What, grids? Yeah, you're
Just
talking
the
about.
grids, the grills, the grids, they're all the same
It's,
thing.
so you're using the same.
Yeah.
Two different, okay,
Muttons,
that was, it
Moyens,
was confusing me.
Muttons, Moyens, The
Okay.
grids, the grills.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
That-
same.
that's
What is it? Simulated interior grid? No, what's it called?
So there's, okay, I'm just reading this about, Pella has an article about integral light technology grills are permanently attached to the interior and exterior of the glass, and metal spacers are added in between the grills
What's
to
it called?
cast a realistic shadow like individual window panes, called integral light technology grills. Simulated divided light says, simulated divided light have on dual pane windows, the grills are permanently mounted to the interior and exterior, but do not have spacers in between. So we want the real true divided light, think. And then the grills between the glass have it in between the two pieces of glass, which is filled with argon or some other neutral.
Read it, Joe Bob, to make
element,
sure I got
and
it.
there's nothing on the interior exterior.
Check that then.
Yes.
Okay, now let me clean up this mess I made here. All right, so
We have the last item today?
it's coming.
Oh,
As
they're
soon as I
here?
get straightened. Oh, I don't know.
They're not, I don't think they're here.
So do we sign this or a different one? Is that the one we signed?
No, you don't sign that. I just wanted you to read it for your,
read it to make
see if
sure
it's
that's fine.
correct.
Yes.
It's correct. Okay, great. Now, here we go.
Oh, still doing this one. We are.
Indeed, indeed.
I think I'm straight now, more or less.
Haven't done this one yet. Oh, shit. She's still on the phone, on the line. We still have one more.
I know, but we don't see anybody.
I'll call it anyway. As soon as we're done with this.
Yeah, yeah. Still need my dinner. The restaurants are closed. Chicken noodle soup again.
Now they're open till 1, but there's nobody in there. They'll be.
That's right. Tom's gone now. Just a little bit.
We still seem to have one left. Do we have?
Yeah, we
I'm sussing that out.
deciding if they're online
Is
or.
there some? I don't see anybody on.
No, Bob wants
All
to
right, wait a
call
minute,
it.
wait a minute, hold on. So The next item on the agenda, next tabled item is 24-A144 is to install 7 solar panels on the rear roof at 859 West Yarmouth Road. Kelly Moran is the owner. Trinity Solar Inc. is the agent. Do we need to untable? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of untabling signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. And now we will call 24-A144. Do we have either Kelly or the rep from Trinity Solar present tonight?
Brendan was on earlier, but he seems to have hung up.
I think he forgot.
Yeah, he probably did. This was one where they had the panels on the front last time and they moved them to the back. So that's what the new plan is. Brandon,
right.
okay.
You can't discuss it without them here.
No, I understand. but-
Okay, so we'll entertain a motion to table table this application until the next meeting.
Move to table 24-A144.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. We need to approve the minutes of the November 25th meeting.
There were some changes that were proposed. I'm sure they were taken in by Lisa. So based on that, I move to approve the minutes of November 25th, 2024.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And aye. Okay, Mr.
No
Bill.
present, sir.
Oh,
You can.
thank you.
I'll offer an opinion.
Okay, next meeting is January 13th, a new year.
Till January.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And aye.
Aye.
So we are